What's up YouTube? BK with BK Gaming 9000 here. Today we're going to talk about the new 1.2 update and what it is going to be bringing to the Division. Now, a couple weeks ago they had the original 1.2 announcement and everything was fine there. Don't worry, we'll go over all the details for that as well. Recap it. So the new update, the state of the game today, they talked a lot about gear and how gear needs to be more looked at and more helped when it comes to um, how we use it and how it affects our gameplay, our weapons, and all this good stuff. Um, so, rewinding back to the previous week, we'll talk about what they announced already for the 1.2. So, 1.2, they talked about raising the Dark Zone bracket from now what is 160 plus is now going to have a 200 plus, I believe 180 or I definitely know there's going to be a 200 plus Dark Zone bracket, so everybody who's done the incursion before can be able to join in on that and have same level players in the game instead of like going against a 160 who doesn't stand a chance against a guy who has like 212 gear because he's been grinding for a longer period of time. Um, they also said that they were going to be focusing on better drops, such as like supply drops. They're going to have better and more sought after gear, and that is all great because let me tell you, these supply drops right now suck. I will be the first to say it. They can ask me tomorrow, like in person, and they'd be like, "Do our supply drops systems stink?" And I'll be like, yeah, they really do. You need to amp that up because I have literally only had one teal and then I've gotten maybe 5 yellows from supply drops, and I've opened a ton of supply drops in the Dark Zone, and the rest have been purples. And so um, that is never good for somebody. But they said that they're going to amp that up, and not only that, they're going to be taking a little bit more focusing off the crafting, which hint hint to the 1.1 update. I believe they actually made it worse because of how much crafting material you need to have to craft an item. Um, yeah, they need to nerf that in a big way. Um, but I don't think they're going to do it. But they said they want to take the focus off the crafting, and they're going to kind of want to go back to having you get better drops in the Dark Zone, which is all good. They also talked a little bit about the new incursion and everything like that, and the new incursion was added to the map. And that kind of brings us to the start of this week. So this week they talked about more fixes in the 1.2 update. Of course, they know about the glitches and all that good stuff, and they really want to fix that, which I don't blame them for wanting to fix that because that is probably one of the most game-breaking things I've ever seen in my life. As for other things, this what they announced is kind of it's not shocking to me, but it kind of makes me a little upset that they're going to be taking that out of everything. They're going to be taking that out or nerfing it in a sense. So let's get on into this. So the first thing that they talked about was the Phoenix credit cap, which right now is 1,000. 1,000 Phoenix credits. When I can almost get that in a day in a sense. When you grind the Dark Zone, you can literally get that in no timing whatsoever. But they said that they're going to increase the cap from 1,000 to 2,000, which is good because I mean when you buy a piece of gear from the special weapons vendor, one of them can cost up to $334. Um, and so I mean, you have all these weapons that can cost like your full Phoenix credit level, and that's never good to be able to, it's so easy for it to clear out. That's never good. So with that being increased, that's always a good thing. Now, they're going to fix a tiny bug for the Sentry's Gear set that is allowing players to automatically target other non-hostiles in the Dark Zone, whether they be rogue or not rogue, but it automatically target them. Like they would turn from white to red, so that you're already doing a little bit more damage to them. So I'm glad that's going to be fixed. They're going to fix a bug where, as in the incursion that I'm doing now, some players are not receiving um, the final reward, like the 240 reward for doing it, or like even on hard mode, the final 214 reward. Um, so that's good. The thing that I'm probably most disappointed about right here is brutal talent is going to be nerfed. I am so nervous for this nerfing right here, because brutal is literally what gets players through the challenge mode in the incursion. I know having brutal on my M1A has definitely helped us get through this incursion, and so having that being nerfed is kind of that's going to be scary. Another one that we've already known about is balanced is going to be kind of nerfed but fixed in a sense. It's going to allow quick scoping, which is going to be very, very interesting. Maybe some people can try to get some trick shots off in the dark zone or something like that. That'd be really funny. Another one is Force talent with Sentry's Gear set is going to change. They didn't really touch more upon that, but I'm assuming that the force talents of, like, maybe the enemy damage might increase, or they might change it up or something like that. So people will start using more gears. They did talk about releasing new gear, and they did specify that the new gear is going to be kind of not mainly focused on attributes. It's going to be more so focused on the weapons. So, like, I'm down with that. I think having a gear set that focuses on assault rifles is going to be very good, because I would like to use assault rifles more, honestly. And as I just chucked a grenade there in the ceiling, that was nice. Being able to use those a lot more would improve people's, not only their enjoyment of the game and being able to use everything that's in the game, but it'll allow them to uh, get a better feel of different weapons and how to use different weapons and everything like that. So that's all good and good. They didn't specify what the gear types were called, or how many they're gonna be, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. They said that they're gonna be announcing stuff next week, which is great. And as well as that, the release date for all this is still not known. But they said that it's getting closer, which is good, because it desperately needs it. Like, as a Division player, I enjoy the game, but like it needs this patch, like, bad. Not for like the brutal nerfing or anything like that. For maybe the glitches, yes. Some of the glitches don't really affect me that much. Sure, you're running into a few bad eggs in the dark zone on the PlayStation, but not as much as everybody says that they're doing. As long as it doesn't affect me, I really don't care. But they need it for the weapon drops, because the weapon drops right now are absolutely horrible. So, next one is Reckless. We're going to talk about Reckless from the chess piece. The Reckless is now going to work properly, so it is no longer going to be pretty much 20 some percent damage to somebody, because essentially the 10% never works. So you're getting the weapon buff, but you weren't getting the damage buff that was also stated was in there. So that's going to mess up with a lot of people's sets. So now I bet you we're going to see a lot more 3 and 3 or 3 and 2, which is what I run currently. I run a 3 and 2 build. In the incursion, I was running a 3 and 3 specifically for the enemy armor damage. Um, but yeah, we'll see. This incursion right here is just absolutely insane. We are on 15 out of 15, and like, we get there. A member in our party got disconnected from the game halfway through. He's got a Delta error, and it scared the crap out of us. We were at, I think, around 10 when that happened, and she turned on her PS4 again, and it allowed her to jump in, and she just popped up right where we were, which was great. But we weren't seeing damage markers. Ammo wasn't showing up. My skills weren't showing up. It was a mess. But that's besides the point. So on to the point. Another thing that was announced was performance gear mods are going to be buffed. Now this is good because they're important, but not many people go after them unless they have like a full gear set. They say, well, I have all the gear that I want. Now it's time to fine tune. This is gonna make it more so it's not the gear that you have already, but like how your gear can work with your mods. Because if your mod has like a sticky bomb, blast radius, or damage buff, that could possibly be increased, which would be beneficial and good. Next thing is going to be the introduction of toughness. Character stat, which will combine the health, armor, and stamina. So now if you go to your character, you have 64% armor, you have like 1,000 or 3,000 like health or whatever, so you can see like how much health you have in the game, like 100,000, and essentially calculate how much damage you're taking. Now that is going to change to a trait called toughness. And toughness is just going to combine everything. And speaking of the armor cap is going to be increased to 75%. So those of you that have just used enough to get to 65, now it's time to kind of switch back to other gear to get to 75, which I think I'm over. So when this update releases, I wonder what number I'm going to be at, because I believe I'm over 60, I think 68 maybe. I'm gonna guess 70. I'm at 70. We'll see. And then last but not least, the VoIP indicator will now be in the UI, so that's always good for people. As I activated my super here to make him plant the last bomb in challenging mode. This was our first attempt at challenging mode, and well, not our first attempt, our first like real grind night to try to complete challenge mode, and we completed challenge mode in the first night that we got it. And so everybody was celebrating, and I'm like, don't celebrate yet, because last time we did something like that in hard mode, some guys came down and we almost died with nothing left. So I was just telling everybody to health up and doing all this good stuff. And so my final thoughts on the 1.2, it needs to come soon. The incursion is going to be gear score 150, and they're going to have everything for that, but it needs to come sooner than later because it desperately needs it. Today they released some season pass stuff that you can get, like camos and stuff like that, but other than that, nothing really special. For the season pass update. As for 1.2, it needs to come like in a week. I hope they release it like that day after the state of the game. But anywho, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you liked this video, please smash that like button. Please subscribe for more future video and content in the future. Obviously that's redundant because I just said that, but we will see you guys in the next one.